Hey, this is Haydn Halsted with the Halsted Home Team, and today we're going to find out what the $300,000 price range can buy you here in Spokane, Washington, specifically right here in the Perry district on the lower South Hill. We're going to check out 3 houses, walk around this awesome neighborhood a little bit, and check out some of the cool features it has. So stick around and let's check it out. So, like I said, we're here in the Perry district today checking out some houses, but right now we're just walking on the main strip here on Perry specifically. We have tons of shops, tons of restaurants in this area. Perry Street Brewery is just right there. Amazing beer, a couple shops, a couple secondhand stores, boutiques, all that type of stuff. There's a cool little secondhand used bookstore right here. So there's just a ton of cool features in the Perry district, a ton of mom and pop small businesses that you get to take advantage of with just being walking distance from most spots. And so in this neighborhood we see typically some fairly older houses. It's one of the oldest neighborhoods in Spokane, and so a lot of houses were built in like the early 1900s. You'll see anywhere from 1905 up to like the 1940s where a lot of these houses were being built. But we have a lot of really cool craftsman style homes, a lot of homes that have been updated over time. And as this neighborhood has become more and more popular and more people have moved into it, they just started doing more work to the houses and making things a lot cleaner. But one of the coolest features, and where I'm at right now, is this park right here. This is Grant Park, and it is just a massive park right off of the main street, because you can see that I just walked from Perry right back over here, and it is attached to Grant Elementary School, which is just right ahead of me here, and that is kind of the main elementary for the Perry district, and it's just right smack dab in the middle of it. But this area feeds mostly into Lewis and Clark High School, which is just down the road about a couple miles from here, and there's school buses and all that for getting down there. And there's just some amazing restaurants. Like I said, you had the Perry Street Brewery, there's the Lantern Tap House, there's Casper Fry, which is like upscale Southern cooking. You have amazing pizza restaurant, South Perry Pizza, that's the one. And then there's a couple cool clothing boutiques and stuff like that, and a great tea shop as well. So we're gonna keep walking around this neighborhood and exploring a little bit, but there's just a ton of cool features of this little area. And even though we're focusing on the $300,000 to $400,000 price range today, houses can go all the way up to $1 million just within a few blocks of here. And so there's really anything, if you like being in this location, there's houses for almost anybody. So let's head over to the first house and see what we can get you around here. So we are just a few blocks west of where we were, just right off of Perry right there. And and so today is just like a normal early spring, late winter kind of day. It's like 35 degrees outside right now, so it's a little chilly, but the sun is out, everything is looking good, and that's kind of normal for this time of year. We've already gone through second winter here in Spokane, so our second wave of blizzards and everything have already been done, so we're on the up and up towards the beautiful springs here in Spokane, Washington. And spring market is in full effect right now. And so as we are passing our first house, which is this one right here, so this one is currently listed at $300,000. It's a 3-bed, 1-bath house, newly flipped actually. It was just recently remodeled. So you got kind of your LVP flooring, your gray paint, but everything's been updated for the most part. You can see it's 2 floors right there. There's 2 bedrooms upstairs, but it's pretty solid sized house, about 1,847 square feet, which puts it at about $162 per square foot. Like I was saying earlier, houses in this area are early 1900s for the most part, and so that one is actually built in 1909. So you've got the rock foundations are common around here, but many of them have been kind of finished off with concrete on the outside. and to kind of stabilize the house and things like that. It's fairly common to experience houses that have gone through a lot of settling in this area, and especially these houses that were built in the early 1900s. So kind of slanted floors and creaky floors are pretty common around here, and I've kind of noticed some recent out-of-town buyers kind of point that out, how in a lot of the houses that we're looking at, one, how old they are, and then two, that a lot of houses have gone through significant settling. And so if you're somebody that is from maybe the Arizona area or California or something like that, where a lot of their housing was built later on, and that we haven't quite experienced that yet. And so give those areas 20, 30, 50 more years and they'll all have settled by then as well. So, but as you can see, houses in this neighborhood all have that kind of similar character, similar craftsman style. And so there's a lot to choose from, and every house is just a little bit different. You got a red and orange house right there, you got a green and white one right here. And so everybody, there's no HOAs or anything like that, so everybody has their own unique way of fixing up their house and making it unique to them. So that is our first house. That is at the bottom of the budget, $300,000. And so now we're going to head up the block a little bit and go check out about a $350,000 house. All right, so now we are on the northwest side of the Perry District, and so this area has had a lot of growth in terms of rental opportunities. There's been a ton of new apartments being built. There's another one back here, and then there's also some condos just down there as well. And so, but even right here as well, it's kind of a newish duplex here. And so there's been quite a bit of growth in terms of rental opportunities, which has been great because the rental market here is very tough right now. Like we're at like 1% vacancy. So the rental market usually lags the real estate residential market by about a year. And so all the craziness that we've been experiencing in the residential market is catching up in the rental market right now. But so right now we're passing our second house, which is listed at $385,000. And so it is this cute Craftsman right here. And so this is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house. It's listed as being about over 3,300 square feet, but they're counting the unfinished basement in that, so it's more like 2,200 square feet. So that puts us at about $173 per square foot. And I wanted to bring that up because here in Spokane, because I've heard this from some other out-of-state people, other out-of-state clients, that were really concerned about price per square foot and it appraising. And price per square foot is a factor for sure, but it is, I feel like, and from what I've heard, price square footage is something that here in Spokane is not taken into account like that strictly. I feel like I've heard from other realtors and other places that they're going in there and measuring with like every single room and double checking that it's correct and all this kind of stuff. And for the most part, that's just not something we totally do here in Spokane County and Spokane real estate. And a lot of times people want to look at the square footage that's on the county record, but the county record might think that house is only 1,000 square feet because the main floor was probably the only thing that was finished at one point, and then they did the upstairs attic. And if the county never knew about that or anything, then there's no way that would have been updated over time. So that's just something to think about when you're looking at homes, that don't get too caught up on the price per square foot, because it's actually not that crazy important when you're trying to compare house to house. Because yeah, like I said, that's 1,100 square feet of that house is just a rock unfinished basement. So, but like I said, I wanted to just keep walking the street. There's this cool rock wall right here, and then we can see that's cool. But behind me here, there's some new apartments right there. There's some condos right there, and those are going for about in the mid 400,000s right now. And then this is actually just like a community of people that live together, that live and work in a community. It's like a circular community where they live in there and they grow food together, eat food together, spend time with their families together. So it's kind of a co-op community that is fairly new to Spokane. I know that's more popular in other places like Portland, but this is one of the first ones, and it makes total sense that it's in the Perry District because that's just exactly like the type of thing that this neighborhood would invite. And then this is, I believe, another part of that, this other building right behind me, and there's like a yoga studio in there and everything. So just kind of a cool little community where they all cohabitate together. So yeah, now we're on to our last house to see for the tour, and this is right around the same price as this one, but you'll be surprised at the difference in the size in between these two properties. So before we get to our last house and this section of the Perry District, I just wanted to point out in the previous house that I was at, when we were in the more of the northwest corner of the Perry District, there's two restaurants there that you should absolutely check out. One is Wisconsin Burger, which just has super awesome burgers. They put cheese curds on everything. It's amazing. And then the other one is the Grain Shed, and the Grain Shed is known, they do so many things. They have like pizza dough, that like pizza nights that are amazing. They make amazing bread. Coffee's awesome. And if you want to go spend a bunch of money on the best avocado toast, then go out and get some avocado toast there. But right now we're on the northwest side of the Perry District, and so as you can see that there's a little bit more of a mix of homes. We got some 1970s, we got a new construction right there, but the house that we're actually looking at is right here, and it's another 1905 build, 3-bed, 2-bath house, and but it's listed at about 1,400 square feet, and it is the exact same, it's the same price as the one up there. On the other side is at $389, and so as we get a little bit more south here, the prices tend to go up just a little bit. Price per square foot, I'm imagining that they must not be counting something, because that's a big jump for the square footage, but it has some nice updates and everything, so that puts your price per square foot though like over $300 per square foot in this neighborhood. So but yeah, so this section of the Perry District though was not really developed as much until like the 1970s. You can see a lot more split levels in this area, and our kind of older craftsmen, there's one right there, they're a little fewer and far between. So this area, what portion of the Perry District wasn't as developed over time. But if you go down, we're on 13th right now, if you go down to just 11th, there's another great coffee shop called The Meeting House. They're fairly new, opened up during the pandemic, and they have some killer coffee. If you have a group of people that meet like on a regular basis, they have a conference room that's awesome to have some meetings in and get out of the office and everything. So there's a ton of cool features for if you're shopping in that $300,000 to $400,000 price range. It's very competitive to get into this neighborhood in that price range, just because there are so many amenities around here between restaurants, coffee, shopping, all that kind of stuff. And we're just so close to downtown that it makes life just really convenient living in this neighborhood. So yeah, definitely be ready for some competition. Be ready to be waiting a little bit for the right time if you are solely stuck on living here in the Perry District. But like I said, my name is Haydn Halsted with the Halsted Home Team. If you are 9 days, 90 days, or 9 months out from purchasing a home or moving here to Spokane, it doesn't matter. Give me a call, text, or email anytime, and I'd love to help you out. Thanks so much for listening, and have a great rest of your day.